I have no idea if I'm live or not because Zoom is not telling me anything at all. So if I am and you're watching the replay, I'm so sorry if you've literally been sat there for 15 seconds because Zoom is telling me I've been live for 15 seconds, but it still hasn't actually shown me my broadcast in the Facebook group. So sorry. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm just going to bring up the video on my phone so that I can see comments. So here's a trick for you. If you're going live, sometimes, or really whenever you're going live, if you're going live from your laptop, it's really hard to see the comments. So it's helpful to have your phone, your iPad, something else to see the comments. You'll see lots of people do this. So don't stress about having another device with you and just let your audience know that you're bringing up the questions, the comments, all of that kind of thing. So I will just let everybody know that we're live right now. I'm going to find this video in the group and make sure that everybody who wants to be on here is on here. So if you are watching, then say hello. Oh, I see a comment from Karen. Hello. And Rosie. Hello. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to America this week, tomorrow morning, in fact, flying over to Phoenix, which I didn't realize is like way over in America. I'm flying over for the 2CCX event, which is Russell Brunson's highest level coaching that you can actually join. You can only join his inner circle if you've been through to Comma Club X coaching. So I like to think that I am in Russell's highest level coaching. If you're in 2CCX with me, then you should think the same. We have access unlike anybody else. So it's amazing. Anyway, so I'm going to Phoenix tomorrow, which means that I need to do the Q&A now because I have no idea what kind of time I'm going to have. And what I don't ever want to do is tell you that I am going to be doing a live and then not be able to do it because that's a bit rubbish. And sometimes it does happen, but if I can minimize it happening, then I will do. So hit me up with your questions for this week. What have you been doing? What have you been doing in relation to growing your audience on Facebook? What have you tried? What's worked? What hasn't worked? But also, where are you stuck? And while I'm waiting for that to come up, I will start with some of the questions that I have already had from you guys. So one of the questions is from Anne. Let's give a very big welcome to Anne. She is brand new into Tribe for Life. She's just finished the challenge, the Double Your Tribe challenge, which is the second go round. She's just finished it and joined straight away, of course, joined the membership. I kind of think it's a bit of a no-brainer. That's how I engineered it to be, that you, if you wanted to have access forever to the challenge content, but also to keep up with what's happening on Facebook, I kind of made the membership a no-brainer. I've also just invested in Stu McLaren's Tribe course, which is all about memberships. So expect massive things from this because he is all about how to keep everybody happy, make your members get progress, and thus they stay. And so obviously the key thing for you is to make progress. And that's what I want to help you achieve so that you stay, so that we all get to stay together. So Anne did ask earlier about the difference between your Facebook profile, your Facebook page, Facebook group, kind of all the different assets that you can have on Facebook, how they link together, and like what's the purpose for each one. So let's go back in time. So when I was at university and Facebook first came out, and Facebook was just for university students. If you were a regular person, you couldn't get on Facebook. So Facebook has grown from literally wanting to connect university students to connecting everyone, to then having business pages, because they weren't even a thing when Facebook first started. So then Facebook pages came along so that businesses could be involved on Facebook. And then groups happened so that people could have conversations with people who were just like them inside groups. Now, you may have heard recently, there was the F8 Developers Conference last week, which is Facebook's annual big event where they talk about the things that are happening in the future. And what Mark Zuckerberg talked about while at the event is the fact that people want to have more enclosed conversations and not just be broadcasting out to the world. And so you may or may not know that WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. So there are things coming there as well in terms of messaging and you being able to contact your customers through WhatsApp. But what does it mean for you, the business owner? Okay, so when you go on Facebook, first and foremost, you have to have a profile. You cannot be on Facebook without a Facebook profile. You can't have a page. You can't have an ad account without a Facebook profile. So everybody needs a profile. Now, historically, people use their profiles just to keep in touch with their friends and family, share pictures of their family, their children, their cats and dogs, that kind of thing. But as Facebook developed, more and more people realized that their customers were on Facebook. So therefore, you want to be able to get to your customers on Facebook. You still need your Facebook profile, but you also need to have a page presence, especially if you ever think you're going to do ads, which realistically, at some point you are going to, but you also need to have a page so that you can collect data about your audience. Got really itchy eyes today, I'm sorry. So you can collect data about your audience. You cannot do this from a Facebook profile. A Facebook profile, when it interacts with people on Facebook, doesn't store any data about those people. But a Facebook page, when that interacts or people interact with it on Facebook, Facebook stores that information about your customers. So how old they are, what kind of country they live in. What I'm going to do with you, if I can bring it up right now, is I'm going to screen share you over onto, sorry, give me a second, to my audience insights on Facebook. So you can have a look at the kind of information that Facebook will show you about your customers, about people interacting with your page. Now, when you go into a group, you can now join groups as pages, but people are still really suspicious about those pages, and not every group admin allows pages to join. I know at the moment I don't. Lots and lots of people, and I've taken this under guidance, lots of people don't allow pages to join groups. So you kind of still need to be a profile when you're joining a group, and for people to then think that you're a real person and therefore want to connect with you. So you still need your profile first and foremost, but you do need to set up your profile funnel to get people from your profile to your page, to your group, or to your lead magnet. Now, I think it's worth having a group, especially as kind of like a side bonus, shall we say, to if you're creating courses, or even if you're trying to grow a group from or an audience from nothing. It's useful to have a group because you can then have a place where you form deeper connections with your audience. But I will give you a caveat. It is really hard to grow a group. That's why there are loads of courses specifically about growing Facebook groups. And I've gone on most of them and paid for a lot of them. And the hardest thing that everybody seems to have when trying to grow a group is maintaining or even starting conversations between people. So if you aren't, or either don't have the capacity or the will inside you to spend lots of time in your group starting conversations, keeping the conversations going, trying to come up with things to get people to talk about them, like think about how your page does and then like 10x it. That's what you need to do inside your group, because there are so many groups that if you don't keep your group active, people will fall off. Now, I'm going to give you an example here from my own most recent challenge. Now, for my first challenge, there was literally like a 10-day window where I was like, okay, you can now, and it was even like a 5-day window, you can now buy, and the challenge started, which wasn't a long period of time, which meant people could get into the group and then things were happening inside the group really quickly. And this is a paid for challenge, bear in mind, so not even a free one. And then in the most recent challenge, people were able to buy the challenge up to 3.5 weeks before the challenge started. So people joined the group, but then there wasn't really very much going on in the group because I wasn't doing live training. And so when it came to starting the challenge and the trainings live inside the group so people can interact and use all the amazing Facebook features, there wasn't that much engagement compared to how it was with the first challenge. Which for me, I was just like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing differently? And I was like, the only thing I've actually done differently is have a longer lead-in time where there's not really much going on in the group for people who've just joined. And so for me, what I'm doing for the next one is there's going to be pre-training, there's going to be questions, there might be automated posts. I might schedule some posts. I personally implore you to schedule your posts, because do it, absolutely do it, but also make sure you're posting in real time too. But if you're scheduling posts, use Facebook's own scheduler, i.e. go into Facebook and then rather than click post, click schedule from your page and in your group. But don't use things like Hootsuite because your reach will be way down if you use Hootsuite and all the rest of them. But anyway, so I'm digressing. I'm going to have posts and like polls and things going on in my group from when people join up until the start of the challenge, so that there's still stuff going on in the group, so it doesn't become a ghost town. Rosie, who is in this Tribe for Life group, she has a group of her own that's a free group, and she found that she wasn't getting very much engagement in there, so she started asking questions, and then you have to keep the conversation going. So my tips on how to do this: ask questions, find out things, like easy questions about people. People hate like answering hard questions. If you ask someone what their long-term goal is, most people don't know. Most people don't spend any time thinking about it. And so it becomes a hard question. They can't be bothered. They don't answer. You ask them what their favorite color is, they'll answer. Or their favorite house in either Harry Potter or Game of Thrones, they'll answer you. Who your favorite character is, who your favorite villain is, who your favorite superhero is, they'll answer you, because it's an easy question. But if you ask hard questions, people won't answer. However, if people do answer, they tend to be the more engaged people that you can focus on when you're trying to grow your actual customer list. So they might be the people that are more likely to buy from you. So you have to mix up both, but ask easy questions. Do polls, find out what kind of content people want from you inside your group. So you could say, you know, I'm going to create all these things, but which one do you want first? And for me in this group, like, it's content repurposing, Facebook ad basics, LinkedIn, like different social media platforms, you know, loads of different things. And so the two things that people seem, and I've polled, they want the most is Facebook ad basics and content repurposing. So those are the two things that I'm going to do first. So it's almost like finding out from your audience what they want and then giving it to them. And it works in groups, it works on your pages. Now, I would put the same content on my page as I do on my group. But what you should expect is to have more responses in your group as long as you've kept the conversation going with people for a while. So reach on Facebook pages is way down and is likely to stay way down, organic reach. But what you can do is create posts. Just keep creating posts. Test your posts on your profile. Test your posts in your group, and then put the good ones, or just put them all out on your page. The ones that you do well, you can turn into a really simple ad for, like, even if you're just spending $5 a day or something, or $2 a day, like a really small amount, just to give that post a little bit more reach. And when you're creating content that is applicable, i.e. interesting to your ideal client, it's the kind of thing that's going to attract your ideal client. So not who is your favorite House Targaryen character, but something that's actually related to your business. When you put that out as a Facebook ad and you get more reach, what you can then do is say, okay, well, I know that these people are interested in my content and what I do and my products and my services, and therefore you can then retarget those people with your ads selling your product and your service. So and like there's also the opportunity to and I would definitely get a VA to do this, like, don't do it yourself, but you can invite people who comment and who engage and who like your posts to like your page. Now, you may have also heard in the news recently that Instagram is doing away with other people being able to see how many people like your posts, but you will still be able to see it, and it still helps, because when people like your posts, I cannot see this changing, because liking a post is an indicator of whether your post is relevant to a person, and therefore the more people like your posts, the more reach they get. And that's why live video does so well, because people like your posts as you're going along. And therefore, when you turn it into just a normal post, it's already got some happy juice, some algorithm juice, some link juice. So that's, I like, while it doesn't matter how many followers you have or how many likes on a post you have, it is still a good indicator to Facebook about whether or not the content is relevant to your audience, and helps you determine which of the things you've talked about are the most interesting to your audience. So hopefully, like, that gives you some clarity about your profile is you interacting on Facebook. Your page is your business interacting on Facebook. But when you are the face of your business and you have a page that is your name, like your brand page, your public persona page, I treat them as one and the same. I just know that my page doesn't get as much reach, but it does have audience insights and retargeting. And a friend of mine, we're in an accountability group together, posted today in this, it's a WhatsApp group. And he said today that he ran an ad of a post and did some posting and got a load of new people into his group, and then also got 2 new customers. And he said he ran and like did the posting from his page because he knew he would be able to retarget those people off the back of something that he learned from me. And I was like, thank you so much. That's amazing that you've done that. And like, and taken action. Like that's the key thing, is he took action. So you can't just be a profile, because technically it's against Facebook's terms of service to use your profile as a business. But at the same time, you can't just be a page, because you need the profile first to make the first contact with people and then bring them through your profile. So I would be duplicating all the content that you're doing on your profile from your page. Space things out so you're literally not blasting people with the same message at the same time. If you're limited on resources, just do it at the same time. Better done than not done at all. But if you've got the ability to post in different places at different times and tweak the wording, then do it. But if you do not have the capacity, the time, the person to do it for you, then just post, just get it out there. I've also found that I have people following my page, liking my page, who I'm not friends with, and vice versa. You know, still some people who are my friends haven't liked my page. That's just life. So you are reaching different audiences. And remember, your profile caps out at 5,000 people. Your page is unlimited. So you will reach 5,000. If I could have 10,000 people liking my profile, that would be amazing. I've got enough people to fill it up. And you either do have already or you will have. But if you just use your profile, you're maxing out. If you just do videos from your profile, you're limiting yourself, because you will only ever have 5,000 people see it. But if you do it from your page, you've got unlimited scope for the amount of people that can see your content, and you can retarget them as well. And you can push it out to even more people by paying. So you just need to almost be present everywhere. But it's quite easy. You can just, worst case scenario, you can just copy and paste the content you're putting on your profile into your page, into your group. But if you're using a group, you just need to make sure you're maintaining connections within there. And I can say that, like, I've learned something from my latest challenge of not having pre-content, pre-relationship building prior to the challenge. And so it was much harder to kind of bring up the energy of people that were in there. But at the same time, if you don't make mistakes, you never know these things. I could have just not done anything, and then I'd never know. So you need to just test things out. So let's get back onto the questions and the comments. So hopefully, Anne, you can let me know if that makes sense to you. It's got a bit more clarity. So you need to be using your profile to make those first interactions. You've got to set up your profile funnel. Trainings in the challenge. You now have forever access. I am going to post in here. You need to let me know in the comments if you want it. I'm going to post my template for setting up your profile funnel, your profile, like your actual personal profile funnel, so that you get people going through to your page, to your group, to your email list. Facebook changed the layout of the mobile profile, so I've had to update the template, but I'm going to post that for you guys in a short while if you want it. So yes, Rosie says glasses on now, you're going to confuse which day. Yes, I've answered that already. Wowzers from Karen. And question, what are your best, actually, hold on, let me go through the comments to check that I've answered everything about what we were just talking about, and then I'll go to a new question. Rosie says, tribe exciting Shah. I actually went through James Wedmore, because James Wedmore was doing a live workshop, a 2-day workshop, and I have not been to a James Wedmore workshop. I would like to connect with him. So I'm connected to quite a few of like his friends, but I want to be connected with him. So that's why I bought with him. So if you're ever thinking about buying a course, lots of people are affiliate promoters for courses. And so you can kind of bonus shop. Now, I do 2 things. One, if someone has introduced me to that person, I like to repay them by buying through them. But with Stu McLaren, I knew him anyway through Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson's not doing promotion for Tribe because he's running his own promotion at the moment for Mastermind, which I also have. I have a problem. No, I don't have a problem, because investing in yourself is the best thing you can do. But if there's nobody who has introduced me to a person and they are launching, and I know that there tends to be like an affiliate competition where they all try and like win prizes, then I will go and have a look around and see which bonus. So it's not for me, I look at which bonus is going to help me with the thing that I'm doing and is like the extra bit that I need. So it might be trying to connect with someone. I want to connect with James Wedmore, so therefore that's why I've chosen him. But there are other people that have got bonuses related to their niche, their industry, their like area of expertise. And so I'd look at all of those things and not just go, oh, who's got the most bonuses? It's more about what's the thing that's going to serve you the most at the moment. So yes, Anne says, for the time being, work from page, then add to profile. You do not have a group made for a bit. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the things that you post on your profile, you can post on your page and vice versa. You need to think about your profile as being an extension of business you. So you can have some of your personal, your kind of personal information on, not information, your personal experiences on there if they're relating to your profile. Sorry, if they're relating to your business. You've got to remember also that your lifestyle relates to your business. I did a more in-depth talk about this, and I'll tag you in it, Anne, so that you can go back and watch it. I don't want to repeat it for other people, but you know, your life, what happens in your life, the things that you choose to do with your life are inspirational to other people and people in your audience. So there is no harm at all. It's a good thing to share what's happening in your life, but nobody, and I know you're not this kind of person, none of you are, but nobody wants to hear you moaning, complaining about the noise across the street, or, you know, this happened or that happened. They want the positivity. If you're struggling, let people know about the struggle, because that helps them too, because they know that you're real and you're just like them. But I personally like to do the struggle. This is what I'm struggling with. This is how I'm trying to get past it. This is how I got past it, rather than just complaining. But I know you guys aren't those kind of people. And it's really funny, actually. I one of this accountability group that I'm in, that I think I'm going to leave quite soon, because there is a lot of negativity in there. And I'd forgotten how negative average Joe can be. And that's why I very much keep myself distanced from the like the more general groups, and go for the ones where people tend to be more focused on improving their mindset and that kind of thing. Anne says the template could be useful. Yes, and as I will, I will send that, or I will say that if you say in this video that you want it, I will then send it to you. There we go. Get my words out. Karen says, someone in the office keeps talking to me, but I'm here and going to catch up on the bits you missed. Yes, the profile setup help. Also, if you can pop how I copy my other platform links across, they just don't work. Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter. Do you mean, Karen, the links that you have in your Facebook profile that link to your other platforms? Because I suggest not having them. The point of your Facebook profile funnel is to give people one thing to do, which is to go through your Facebook profile funnel. Facebook wants you to keep people on Facebook. So if you have links to your page as your only links, or links to your group as your only links, then people will go from your profile to your page. So you can retarget them at some point in the future. You can gather information about them. I am going to show you audience insights in a moment. But you just want people to stay on Facebook and stay in your Facebook profile funnel. The last step would always be taking them from Facebook into your email list. So your lead magnet, the thing that you're giving away for free. For me, it's the challenge, because it's working like almost as well as a freebie, but it's attracting the right kind of person, because it's the kind of person who will spend money and therefore will become a customer. So you don't want to be sending people off to Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter, because they might not come back to you, and then they might not get to your page, and they might not get to your email list. So I would not have any links to other social media profiles in your Facebook profile. So I'd get rid of all of those, but I would have one link to your page and your email magnet, your lead magnet, whatever your first entry point is into your sales funnel, as it were. Now, if that's setting up a call with you, then have that there as well. So yes. Yes, Karen says yes, they break down. Awesome. Rosie says, where can I find a copy of your Facebook Live tips cheat sheet freebie, or have I imagined that exists? No, you have not. I do have it. It's in the feature photo, I think, of my profile. I will actually, hold on, I'll type it in here. So this one is, let's just type it, hold on. So what I'm typing right now is the live, oh, I've pressed send rather than enter. That is the video engagement cheat sheet. So that will make your videos get more engagement. That's what it says on the tin. It tends to be, most people say that they're some of the things are things that they realize but never actually implemented. So things that you know but you're not doing, and then other things are things that you might not have thought about. So I've got really awesome, I kind of almost wish that So the general consensus is, and I get this from Russell Brunson, that you have as little as possible on your opt-in page for a freebie, because the entire point is to get people to give you their email address. If you give people too much information, they won't give you their email address. And so I've got amazing testimonials from this cheat sheet, but going along the lines of, you have your one curiosity-based headline of, here's this really exciting hook that makes you go, oh my God, I need that. I need to give you my email address to find out more. That's the one thing you have on your lead magnet. You don't have answering questions. You don't have loads and loads of text. You just have, here's the thing. Here's an image of the thing. Here's a massive arrow. Give me your email address. And people will go, yes, so I'll give you my email address to get to know more about what it is. You give people too much information in their heads. They'll go, oh, I already know that. I don't need it. The least amount of information you give people, the better. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I did a consulting course. So I do one-on-one consulting with people. It's only like £250 an hour. I say only, depends on which like spectrum level of the spectrum you're on. But so just to go through with people, like setting up their Facebook ads, their social media platforms. It tends to be more Facebook ads. And I will literally give people feedback. And so one of the guys I was doing this with yesterday, he set up his lead magnet in ClickFunnels, and he did a split test. And one of his split tests had a video, and this is just asking for people's email in return for his ebook. So one had a video and one didn't. And the only reason he didn't have a video one is because I was like, look, you have to test it without the video, because you talk too much, people will think they know it. So try it without the video. Literally just take out everything. And it had a like a 4% better opt-in rate without the video. Now, and you're thinking, well, it's only 4%. But if you think about the money that he's spending on ads, and then he can obviously spend more money and get more leads for the same amount of money if he's just doing the one without the video. And that's just like the first tweak that we've done. So while it might only be 4%, it's actually a much, much bigger than that improvement on how many leads he's going to get for the same amount of money. So trying to strip out everything from your lead magnets. I know this isn't like necessarily what I was going to talk about, but I want to be able to put testimonials on that opt-in thing, but the general rule is just don't. What I should probably do is test, because you never know unless you test. But I don't like that's got a really high opt-in rate. It's like 70%. So that lead magnet. So yes, Marion says make it enticing. Exactly. Karen says, okay, great, awesome. Okay, so that's that question answered. Rosie's got a question there, and I know Rosie you had a question above as well. So Rosie says, what are your best tips on creating engagement on social media, any platform? You have your own opinions, but you wondered about other people's. Okay, so first of all, the tips that I give in the video engagement do apply to just generally getting engagement. So things like ask questions. So guys, if you've got any questions, ask them below. If I say anything, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about that, then ask a question. So ask questions you're going on, even if they're questions like, where are you from? Like, what's the weather like? There's just simple things that people will then make themselves, they'll feel more connected to you in your content if they feel like they're giving part of you to them. And if they're easy questions, people are going to answer. So asking questions works really well. Asking for likes and hearts and things. However, bear in mind that if you literally just drop a post with like if you love, or like if you like Cersei from Game of Thrones, and love if your favorite character is Arya from Game of Thrones, that kind of thing, Facebook knows gives no value to anyone and is just purely engagement bait. And so therefore Facebook will not push that out. But if you just ask people their opinions and ask them what they think and ask questions about them, and so just like you would if you were having coffee with someone and getting to know them, like that kind of thing works really well on Facebook, because it feels personal and it feels like people are having a conversation with you, and everybody loves to give their opinion. So if you can find a way to get people's opinions, then do it. So things like that, images, video, all of that kind of thing works really, really well. Obviously different platforms favor different types of content. So if you're going to do video, you can only really do it on IGTV for Instagram or Instagram stories. Now, Instagram stories has more users each day than the Instagram newsfeed, which kind of makes no sense. But basically people have an Instagram account, but more people just look at their stories and flick through their stories than they do looking at the newsfeed on Instagram. So if you're pushed for time, then just do stories. And you can upload your like the videos. If you're doing videos on Facebook, you can upload those into IGTV. If you have an Instagram IGTV video, and say in the video you gave a link to go and do something, like go and download my freebie, you can create stories that link to Instagram TV. So this is a way that you can get the whole swipe up feature without having 10,000 followers, because you have to have 10,000 followers on Instagram to have the swipe up feature, which will take people to a website. But what you can do is do your story, your little clip, your whatever it is, and then link it to your Instagram TV or your IGTV video, which might go into more detail about something. Because most people aren't going to watch a 10-minute story, but they might watch a longer IGTV video if you've linked to it from your stories. It's a way to get people to your longer video. So Instagram's obviously very visual, very picture heavy. You're not going to just you can't just do long content like blog post style on Instagram, because you need to have a really good image too. But you could do lots of stories, like telling a story about your day, about your thing, about the creation. So I know, Rosie, you've said about doing the challenge that you're going to do. Well, you could do like a story across Instagram stories and across Facebook stories and across your Facebook profile and your page and in your group about how you are creating the parts for your challenge. Or what are the 3 false beliefs that people have. If you've read Expert Secrets, you know what I'm talking about with false beliefs, but they are basically the things that people believe about your whatever it is that you're offering that are wrong. So whether they think that they can't do it, whether they think that your thing, your solution that you're offering doesn't work, the things that they think that are wrong. And so you could do the breaking of false beliefs, actually, this is how you overcome the thoughts that you're having. You don't tell people that they're wrong. You just say, I know you're thinking that I've got so much more experience than you, but I was just like you back 2 years ago when I first did my first Facebook Live, and I had to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to go live. And sometimes still I feel that because I feel the imposter syndrome, and I still have to do it. And so you're then getting past somebody's false belief of I can't do that, go live on Facebook, go live on social media, by telling them the story that how you got over it. And then they go, oh, actually, that's really interesting. And so people tend to engage more when you're talking about the problems that they're having and the challenges that they're having, or just asking questions or asking their opinion, that kind of thing. So that helps to give you some ideas for engagement. Rosie says she's off to pick up the children. Awesome. I will have an amazing time in Phoenix, and Shay will be in Phoenix. Hello, it's awesome to see you. Hello, Marion. Right, let's get back up to the questions. So Rosie says, Rosie's good at asking questions. Ask questions. I have a challenge planned to start on the 20th of May. Talk about lots of different things in my group. Should I avoid talking about the topic of my challenge during the 2 weeks until it starts? Does it work best in a separate group? Okay, so depends if you're doing a free challenge or a paid challenge. So if your challenge is paid, you kind of need to take it out of your free group into somewhere else. Otherwise, the people that are in the free group are going to get the same content, and the people who've paid are not going to be happy. So that's the first thing. Now, in terms of talking about the topics to do with your challenge, you can do this is what you need to do. So if we talk about just the example of social media, because I know you teach people, smaller businesses, how to do social media, and you run Twitter ads for people and things, Rosie. So you can tell people that they need to be posting on social media. You can tell people that their customers are on social media. You can tell them that if their customers are using Twitter more than Facebook, probably not true, but if they are, then people need to be present on Twitter, and tell them that they can be present on Twitter, and tell them how. But I wouldn't go into the real detail of how, like, this is what you need to post. This is how often you need to post. Just give them the really high level overview of what they need to be doing. Break false beliefs. So what I just talked about. Talk about the barriers that people put up in themselves to do the thing that your challenge is going to be about. You can talk about the before aspect of your challenge. So if your challenge is, say, for example, like say you had a challenge about going live, then you could do the pre bit, like how to set up your room for going live, what kind of equipment you need for going live, the pre-planning some content that you might talk about going live. And then during the actual challenge, you teach people what to say it, how to write hooks, how to get people engaged, what to do afterwards, how to have a lead magnet. So you want to talk about engagement, have a lead magnet that people can ask for on the post, on the live, and then you give them the follow-up thing. And that, like, people love stuff like that, like crazy. So you could do the kind of the pre-work before the challenge. But what I wouldn't do is go really deep on the actual content that you're going to be covering in the challenge, because of that whole thing of people go, oh, I already know that. She's just taught me that. I don't need the challenge. Yes, they do the challenge. Even if it's the same content, they still need the challenge. Russell Brunson is amazing at this. So Russell Brunson, who owns ClickFunnels, he pretty much teaches the exact same thing at different price points. So I haven't got it here, it's upstairs. The Expert Secrets book. He even says this. Everything he knows is in the Expert Secrets book and his other book. And soon the Traffic Secrets book. But like the principles of how to create a movement, become the attractive character. And it's quite a high level, the what's in the Expert Secrets book. But like everything's in there. The actual script that you use for your webinar is in there. How to go and find your ideal audience, like all of it is in there. How to put together the funnel, that's in .com Secrets. So everything that Russell knows is in those books, which you can buy for free plus shipping. So if you're in the UK, it's like $15. If you're in America, it's $8. So, well, less than $8, $7.95. So you could just buy Russell Brunson's book and you've got all the knowledge he has in principle. Then Russell recently started, like the end of last year, started doing the One Funnel Away challenge, which is basically taking what's in the Expert Secrets book and teaching it to you in video form through a challenge across 30 days. And then at the end of it, you come out with the funnel. Most people don't, because it's a lot to do, like so much to do in that 30 days. Most people don't actually get to the stage of finishing their funnel, but they have, for the first time ever, actually implemented. And that's the really key thing. But the content is the same as what's in the free plus shipping book. The 2 Comma Club X coaching and Inner Circle coaching is what's in the Expert Secrets book, what's in the One Funnel Away challenge, but just deeper again, just more interactive, because there are coaches where we can go on and we can say, hey, I'm stuck on this bit. Or they go, okay, well, what are you doing for this bit? And so it's not one-on-one, but like one-to-many actual coaching in the 2 Comma Club X, which is at a different price point, a crazy price point. So it's the same content, but deeper each time. And so when you're talking about what do I put like in my group and on your profile and on your page before the challenge, then you can do the high level of what's going to happen in the challenge. I wouldn't necessarily say this is what's coming up in the challenge. I would just start talking about the topics, because you can then gauge from the engagement that you're getting in your posts pre-challenge who might be interested in the challenge. So just take a high level, the before bit of the challenge, and then ask people questions and find out where people are struggling with the things that are going to come up in the challenge that you can help them overcome, so that when the challenge launches, when you get into launch phase, you can say, hey, you talked about this thing, I've got the solution right here. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I know you're not on now, Rosie, so you can't answer, but I hope that makes sense. Maybe everybody else can tell me if that makes sense. Marion says they are awesome books, and that's you. Awesome. Which bit's you? I'm not sure. Maybe this needs to be, oh, sorry. Okay. So Anne asks, this gets to be a very focused question. I see in the dog space, lots of people, photos of funny or sad dogs, or their dog as a personality. So just mulling over how to make my page more than that, blending the joy of living with our dogs with the information to success care for your dog. Any thoughts? Yes. One of my ads clients, she's very dog friendly. Like her dogs are her children, and she creates products that are for when your dog pees in your house and destroys the carpet or the furniture. She's got some products that like soak it up and make it all smell nice, and her customers are obsessed with these things. She also posts lots of pictures of the dogs with the products, going out, the dogs, in the office space that they have. And also she posts lots of pictures of her customers' dogs, because this is the thing when you've got really, really like hyperactive buyers, which you will have in your audience. And so the people who love dogs. People who love cats love cats. And so this is when it's really great when you find a passionate market. And so what you can do is you can build up your audience by showing pictures of, like, you know, your dogs, and asking people questions and getting them to share with you their favorite moments with their dogs. You know, I'll give you an example from some groups that I am still in, even though I don't wear it as much. I'm into baby wearing, or I used to be when Caspian was tiny. And so when you wrap babies with like things, wraps, pieces of material, and people are obsessed with these. And so one of the most, if not the most, commented on post each and every single day in the groups that I'm in is like, what are you wearing today? As in, which wrap are you wearing? And people post photos of them wearing their beautiful wraps and their babies. And it kind of more is about the wrap than the baby. So, and also, like, which carry did you do? So which way of tying up did you do? That's a really, really, like, probably the most popular post. And then another one is your stash shot. So your shot of all of your different wraps. And so people do, like, they twist them up and they fold them and they have them in these beautiful, some people have ladders that they have their wraps over. And so people love sharing that. And so you can build a sense of community of, oh, these are people that are just like me. These are people that are really excited about the thing, just like me, especially in the dog owner world, because we all know that dogs are like family. They become like family for most people. And so you can build up your following and your audience and the sense of community with your audience in that way, by getting them to share those moments with you. Because if you go back to the principles, and this is why you need to go through the training properly, Anne, but I know you haven't had time yet. But so the principles of social media are the fact that we like to share what we're doing with other people. And then we also like to be on the other end watching what everyone's doing. So try and build that sense of community and the sharing with your community by getting them to share photos. So Anne says you've got food and behavior products. Okay, so like, absolutely. So you could easily do you know, what naughty thing has your puppy done today, or, you know, what great thing has your puppy done today. So I do both. I wouldn't just do negative, I do the really positive stuff too. So you know, how are you, like, grateful for your animal, you know, your dog, your puppy, whatever, today? You know, what amazing thing did they do? Like, I have this every morning. I wake up and I see Caspian. This is my human child. And he smiles, or he says something. He wakes up and says the most random stuff. Like, literally, it's like he's had a conversation overnight and then he wakes up continuing to talk. And, like, I always have that moment of, he's just so awesome and I am so blessed to have him. And so I know, I don't have a dog, but I know people feel like that too about their dog. So what funny thing did they do when you came home today? So you could talk about that on the behavior front. So, like, have the positive stuff and the what naughty thing did they do, because then you can swoop to the rescue with, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And the same with food. You know, is your dog being fussy? What random things does your dog eat? But it doesn't have to necessarily just be about the food thing. It could be, what's their favorite toy? And try not to do it too much, because that's not necessarily the most useful. But if you talk about toys, then you can tie that into toys that help with behavior. You know, the fact that dogs need to be exercised, they need to play. Otherwise, if they don't get that, then they are more destructive in the house. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of the things that you could talk about. Now, Marion says she's doing the one funnel away challenge, not coming out with a funnel, but that's where your paths cross. Like, absolutely. Most people don't come out with a funnel. I did, like, my first ever course was, I like actually sold that I like fully made a funnel for. I did through the first ever one funnel away challenge. But most people don't get there because there's so much to do. And I didn't do like half of the stuff in there, but it gives you a way of quickly creating stuff. Now, I did think that what I will do when I'm back from the US, so probably later this month, is do a workshop with you of creating a lead magnet. Now, I know some of you aren't there. You're like, you're way past that. But for those of you who are thinking about creating a lead magnet, I know Rosie said this, that she tried with ClickFunnels and she felt like she kind of didn't really quite figure it out. What we'll do is we'll do almost like a hackathon of, you can start with my template, or I've got like a bunch of Russell's templates as well. And we'll literally like plug and play in your thing. So we'll use Jim Edwards' classic headline creator script. You can pop in your keywords, it will generate a headline. We'll like do the formatting together, and literally at the end of the workshop session, you'll have a lead magnet that you could use if you want to. And if you've already got one, then just add you can add another one in. You can split test them and all that kind of thing. So I just thought that that would be really useful to you to have a way of getting email leads, because you do have to pull people off Facebook at some point and get them into your email list. Because if the worst ever happens, Facebook gets broken up for being a monopoly. I don't know, like Mark Zuckerberg's algorithm decides it hates you, whatever. Like if something ever happens, if you've got your email list, you still have a business. If all of your information is on Facebook and you do not have anything for your customers or your prospects, then you're in a tricky situation. So you still want to be getting people into your email list. And, at the moment, it's still quite hard to take payment from people on Facebook. Not everybody's got the ability to do that. There are some groups, some people who have pages who have what's called fan fundraising or fan support or something, and so they can charge their fans for being fans. And I know that sounds insane, but you have to give extra benefits to those people. But literally, you can charge people a month, and it goes through Facebook. And so I've like done that with one of the people that I follow to see how it works, so that when it comes to everybody, I can then teach people how to implement it properly. But at the moment, it's still quite hard to take money from people on Facebook. So you need some other way of getting them into your buying funnel. So hopefully that helps. Jan, blah, blah, blah. Anne says, thanks. No worries. You're welcome. So if there aren't any other questions today, I think I've answered all of them. Do ask away. I hope I haven't missed anything. Let me just go into the event page and check just to make sure that there aren't any questions in there. Where has it gone? Over here. Let's just make sure there aren't any questions. And I answered your question right at the beginning about the three different kind of, the page, profile, and group. I answered about the Zoom, and then Shay asked about the changes to groups based on Facebook changing. Like, we still don't know anything yet. So let's go back. I did mention about the F8 conference and Facebook saying, Mark Zuckerberg saying about conversations becoming more on like one-to-one or in groups. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. But if you've got some time to dedicate to building your group, go ahead and build it. You just need to be aware that you need to be in your group, answering questions, asking questions, answering questions, and keeping the conversation going. And if you can get a group of people together to help you, or maybe set up a group with a couple of people who complement you as opposed to compete with you, then you can together grow that group rather than it being all on you. But even if it's just 10 minutes a day, in the morning, in the evening, answering people's questions, trying to keep the conversation going. The easiest way to keep the conversation going with people, when you post, or if you've answered in a comment and somebody replies, reply to that comment with a question, and people feel duty bound to answer you. So that's a really good way to keep the question, the conversation flowing, is just ask a question, and you can then kind of quickly rack up some comments. And then when that happens, Facebook will then push your post out to more people because they see that it's getting engagement, and therefore it's useful and interesting to people. So hopefully that helps. Yes. Okay. So I can't see any more questions. Let's just give it 2 seconds just to make sure it's not. Yeah, no, so no more questions. If there aren't any more questions, then I will let you go for the day. I will post this obviously up in the group. It's going to be in here. And while I am journeying across the Atlantic Ocean to America, I am going to be putting the finishing touches on the website so that you've got your membership site. All of these Zooms and these Facebook Lives will go into the membership site. So you've got the choice of where you want to watch it. I will also put the finishing touches on the planner that some of you have bought, because I had somebody who was going to create it into a physical planner for me, but decided that they didn't want to do it. At the end of the day, I think that what I wanted was a bit more than what they thought that I wanted. I think they just thought I wanted a couple of sheets that were like stuck together, but I want it to be like an actual amazing planner. So all of the pages are ready. I just need to put them together in like a PDF format, so you've got that for the time being, and then when I can find someone to print it, as in it's in like print, I just need someone now to make it print ready format, which I'll pay someone on Fiverr to do. So then like obviously the physical one will be out as well, but yeah, so you guys will get that at the end of the week. In the meantime, what I thought is, if you really want some content ideas, I've actually got like a massive list of like 500 different content ideas, just in like a Google Doc. So I can give that to you right now if you want it, or which you probably do, or you can wait for the planner, and then on the planner, it like each day is a content prompt with then go post in these groups. So you've got like a checklist and stuff, as well as doing some kind of like more social media planning. So cool, awesome. Karen says, got to go, work calling, no worries. Anne says, is it okay to share a link with you to review your lead magnet? Yes, just do. Post it in the group. And so anything like that. So of course we don't want direct pitching, because that's not what this group is for. But what it is for is giving you feedback and helping you grow. So post your lead magnets, post your images, post your profile, like funnel line, that kind of thing, so that we can say, yes, that makes sense to me. Or, you know, if it's Susan and Susan talks about why something or others, if you saw Susie's post a little while ago, then you'll know that she said something in one post in a group that most of us are like, what on earth is that? But it massively appealed to her target market, so it was the perfect thing to write. So anyway, so post in the group, and then we can all give you feedback. The thing with feedback is, like, nobody else's opinion matters. The only person whose opinion matters is the person with the credit card. But there are guidelines to start with, and then you just test. So you do your best. We'll give you feedback on what we think, but the only thing that really matters is what your market thinks. So it's really good to get people to like help you proofread, and they might know more about where buttons should go and things, but really the only thing that matters is what your market thinks. So definitely give us stuff to give you feedback on, and then go and post it and make it live to the world. Awesome. Well, I've had a great time with you guys, and Anne says she'd like the content list. Okay, I'll pop that up in the group in a short while, and I shall see you guys all next week. I will post the time. I'm not sure of the time yet, depends what time I get back from America, but I will post a time for you. I'm trying to make them at times when everybody can join. I know that's not possible because we have people from so many different countries in here. Like, I think it's like 9-10 different countries in here, so it's really hard to find a time that everybody could do. So that's why I'm trying to mix it up a bit so that people can join if they can make it. So thanks so much, and I will see you guys all very soon.